Hey guys, Pet here, welcome to another video, a video where I showcase you the vinyl records that I bought in 2022. It seems that this video series seems to be like a tradition already, because I've been doing this for 5 years already. I started recording vinyl records at the end of 2016, and ever since 2017 I've been doing a video about those. So 2016 and 2017 are kind of together in that video. In 2016 I bought 8 records, 2017 32, 2018 19, 2019 43, then 48, 77 in 2021. That was a weird year. And this year only 29. It seems that only 29. I was kind of expecting more, and now that I'm looking at it, I'm thinking that maybe I haven't counted anything, but no, it should be fine. The thing is that I do believe that in the video from last year I said that I hope that this, meaning that video, is the last video from that location, and it's true. The whole last year I renovated an apartment, not myself, other people, and I finally moved to a new apartment, and I'm happy because I can now create a proper man cave, and I'm also very happy that the living room, it's actually pretty spacious, and I wanted to record from there, even that the setup is not really completed. Like I need to hang some paintings on the wall and make it more nicely done. Who knows how it will be in the next year's video. I wanted to record from there, but I don't have, as I said, that setup yet. I need to get my camera to record myself. I don't have an external microphone that will sound better, so I thought that I'm just going to record this at my PC, and I'm just going to edit and film and put in some B-sides on the screen, so it will make the video more interesting. I kind of want to get back on making videos, and this is something that I want to ask you guys. Somehow, I'm not sure exactly how you people get on these videos. Maybe you search on YouTube or so on, but occasionally I receive comments on those videos, and those are great. And I honestly, whenever I've started, it's 8th January 2023, and I've started this channel on the 11th January or on the 13th January. So it's almost 10 years ago I've started this channel, which mainly focused on games, which is called Gamer Pet, me being Pet. But I kind of want to start making videos again and about the stuff that I like, right? So I think I'm still looking on what videos I enjoy, and I do enjoy sharing my videos about my opinions about video games. I don't want to do reviews anymore. I want to do, hey, check out this cool game, and give you like 10 minutes about why this game is cool. Maybe do some kind of game design analysis. Some of you know that I work as a user experience or designer or product designer, but I'm very passionate about game design in general and storytelling and so on. So this is one of the reasons why I still want to make this type of videos. I enjoy talking. And another type of videos that I want to make is videos about music. I remember saying this in the past, like, hey, I want to take an album and speak for 5 to 10 minutes about this album and why it's great for me. Again, because I believe that this whole, it's weird to review music. I don't want to review music. I want to share you the cool things that I like about a particular album and why I bought it, and speak about the history of the album itself, the history of the album towards me, like how I found out about the album, what was my journey with that album, right? And then show you the cool songs, cool things from the songs and so on. And I guess that at some point people, or maybe you or whomever it's going to be, hey, you don't have to like it, but maybe it's something that you will discover, because after all, one of the reasons why I'm buying records is I like and I want to find new music. I do have my old bands that I like when I was little younger, and I'm still going to get those collections on, but I'm constantly looking for new music. I want to get excited about, hey, a new artist who just came out and I want to see him live and so on. I'm kind of like, we are way too stuck on the past. I guess it's normal, it happens everywhere. People have their comfort zone and they always stick in that comfort zone, and that's fine. But I do like to explore and see new things, basically. So I will put some pictures with my setup that I currently have. The room is fairly big, and I do get sun in the morning because it's facing the east, and it does looks interesting. I've set up my room to have two turntables and a mixer in between, because I'm kind of playing with the idea of trying to put music and create some kind of playlist that I'm going to put on or something like that. I don't know how that's going to work out, or if it's going to work out. And I placed up my hue lights, and it does give you like a nice vibes, but it still needs to be a little bit improved. So going back on music, and you know, I do want to do a call to action and ask you guys, how would you like to see me doing videos about albums themselves, you know, in particular talking about that? What exactly would you be interested in hearing about that album? Because, you know, I don't have the knowledge of music, and to be fair, I also don't think it's that interesting to talk about do major, this is starting. It's more about the feeling, and it's hard to express the feeling in an even subjective way, without me using the words like this is nice. If you remember my video from last year, I even said it, that I don't know how to describe things, it's always nice, you know. So anyway, I do expect these videos to be a little bit longer than normal. This video might actually be shorter since we are only showcasing 29 albums, but you know, 2021 was 77, Jesus Christ. So let's actually start with the first one. The first one is Washed Out, Within and Without. I think it's my third album that I got from Washed Out. And to be fair, yeah, my third. I do have Purple Noon that I got last year, I believe, and Life of Leisure, which is his EP, which is with his famous song. But Within and Without, I actually enjoyed this down-tempo synth-pop chill wave kind of album. I can just put it on the turntable and let it play, and it does relax me. It's an album that I can just listen, I can stare into the wall and do nothing, and it's also an album that starts pretty well, with Eyes Be Closed and Echoes, and the third song, which I believe it starts really interesting, Amore Fati. It has this really, immediately it starts and it hits you like, hey, this is nice. at least for me. This is the first album, I believe, that arrived last year. In a way, I waited on making the video from last year just so I can showcase you this album, but I guess that you are seeing it now. I am going to try something new. As I've said, I'm trying to showcase these B-rolls with me opening the album, showing you a little bit of the package or something like that. And I'm also going to try to play you snippets of a song, like 5 seconds. I'm not sure how that's going to work and if it's going to trigger some kind of copyright system or anything. I believe the video should fall into the fair use, but you know, you never know how it is with YouTube. I'm also drinking coffee right now, so it's 12 in the noon, morning, however you call it. So I'm not going to drink gin, which is what I usually drink. The second album that I want to show you came together from UK. It's Sinoia Caves, Beyond the Black Rainbow, and this album is 100% me doing the FOMO part. Someone from the Synthwave group posted that this album is available. It's a little bit sold out, you can't really find it easily, and I was like, ooh, it's a good price too. But thinking about it, I had to buy two records, and it had to came from UK, meaning that it came to customs plus shipping. The two albums that I got were a bit pricey, and to be honest, now that I'm looking at it, I know about the album. There is a song that I've been having it in my rotation. It's a very, very difficult song if I am to describe it. It's, let me see, 1983 main theme actually. It's a very... very uncomfortable song, and this is the soundtrack of a movie that I haven't seen yet. I got it on my PC to watch it on the new TV, which I'm happy that I got because I do want to start watching movies again. In case you didn't know, I when I went to school like 13 years ago or so, I went to photography and video, and I had a passion like for cinematography. I like to watch interesting movies. So anyway, this movie has a very particular visual style, so I'm curious to see more about it. But yeah, this vinyl record came together with Led Zeppelin Coda, which during my discovery phase back in 2005, it was the album that I liked the most, with songs like We're Gonna Groove, I Can Quit You Baby, Walter's Walk, and Ozone Baby, and also Darlene, and Wearing and Tearing. So I do enjoy this whole album altogether. But to be fair, you know, one thing to note, which I maybe should have said at the beginning of the video, is that because I was very, very, very busy this year and very, how to put it, stressed, I didn't have time to listen to all those records the way I like to. Meaning that I might not be able to give you that much insight into the whys and whats and so on. But yeah, that was Led Zeppelin Coda, the fourth album that arrived this year, and I'm very happy that I was able to get it. It did had a repress, the album had a repress, but it wasn't really available, and in the end I was able to buy it. I believe it also came from USA. So again, customs and shipping price only for one album. But Black Marble, it's also the second album that I have from him. But this album came from 2012. It's called A Different Arrangement. And the song that maybe I want to put on the spot might be MSQ. And A Great Design. Those I do believe that those songs are the ones that really drove me to Black Marble, and again, it's nice to listen to it. It has this, you know, Discogs says darkwave post-punk, but yeah, maybe, but it's not that fast tempo. It's a little bit different. It's also a little bit more towards synthy, maybe synth, you know. So it's a combination of things. Now, if we are to go on the fourth album, on the fifth, sorry, I'm kind of not going to number them anymore because I'm on a new page on Discogs and I don't know which one is fifth and sixth, and I will forget. I did order 3 records from the record label, which is called Young and Cold Records, and I only wanted one. It's Equinoxious Cosmódromo. It's an album from 2014, and I remember hearing about this album sometimes like a few years ago, and I think it's also synth-pop darkwave, and the song that got my attention was Astronomo in Sumiso. And I really like how it sounds because it's fast tempo, and I believe it's a song that you can put at a party. But the whole album, it's okay. And when I got it, I was, happy. But hey, I'm not going to pay for shipping and only get one, right? So I got the maximum number of albums that I can with the same amount of shipping, you know, to maximize the shipping price. So I got 2 orders. And the second album I got from them was Bragolin with, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, with the album I Saw Nothing Gets, So I Left. And what? What did I say? I saw nothing good, so I left. I did had one song from them in my rotation, which is called Into the Woods. And again, fast tempo, I'd enjoyed it and I decided to buy the album. And the last album that I got from them was Pindrops, Reflections. And I only listened to this album briefly, and I like how in a way moody it is. It's a post-punk shoegaze, at least this is what Discogs is saying. Yeah, it sounded interesting and I decided to get it. Then, this was actually in February 2022, we got a really interesting release here in Timișoara, which is called TM Lost Tapes. TM comes from Timișoara, and it involves, the album itself contains songs from bands that never, from Timișoara, so bands from Timișoara that never released, never had the records released, right? So those are things that were recorded at some point, found on some hard drives and so on, and it's a compilation of those songs. To be fair, I don't really had time to listen, only the first side, which was nice. On some kind of physical format, and they actually got the second release, the second package, which is only one. This package itself has 3 vinyl records, right? But the second one I didn't have time to buy, so I'm curious to see what it has. I remember seeing on the second release that they have Melting Carousel, which I remember seeing live in 2008. I believe I'm not sure if it was in some kind of battle of the bands that they played at Casa Tineretului, I believe it was, which was the house of the young people, something like that. I'm not sure how to translate it, but we used to have events there involving theater, and sometimes bands were playing there, and it was some kind of battle of the bands where they were competing for a room, for a reversal room or something like that. So interesting. The next 2 records are part-time. In case you haven't watched my last videos from 3 years, I believe, Part-Time is still my most favorite band. I don't know, it's still in heavy rotation. The song Animal Machines is still my most played song every year from like the past 2 or 3 years, and it's my most played song all times. I just like the tempo, I like how it sounds, and it's putting me in a very good mood when I listen to it. I decided to buy this 7-inch because, you know, I'm trying to collect part-time records in general, and I have almost all of them. I think I'm missing like two 7-inches. This song, the song that's on this record is Visions of the Future. which I think it's a fairly nice record. But together with this order, I got it from Discogs, and I looked at the seller to see what else that seller is selling, so I can, you know, buy some other things. I decided to buy Ryo Fukui Scenery, and I remember I enjoy jazz, and I think jazz can work very well, of course, on vinyl. So I don't have too much jazz, but it was like, hey, let's buy some jazz, especially since I knew the album. I've listened to it in the past, and since I got it, I listened to it about 2 or 3 times. It has a nice flow, but I can't, you know, tell you particular examples of things that I really like about it. But I remember finding about this this album from YouTube, suggested algorithm, and it was, I forgot how, Plastic Love. With the Plastic Love, if you were listening to this song, YouTube was recommending Ryo Fukui. I think that's how it went. So yeah. Then after I've ordered this one in 2021, I believe, and 1 year later it arrived, is British Sea Power Disco Elysium original soundtrack, which is one of my favorite video games, which I played again when they released the definitive edition, which had all the dialogue voiced actor. You know, they hired voice actor to read the lines, and it was even more immersive. So it was really enjoyable to replay the game again, but also having this record on my collection. I'm very happy that I got it. I love the cover, which is full of details, and I've listened to the song itself, and I believe that the most moody songs is the Whirling in Rags at 8 a.m. You do have to listen to it to kind of get into this whole place of it, but it's I'm still regularly listening to it, and I do believe, I don't remember the name, but I occasionally listen to it, is the rave scene from the game, where that song is also on the vinyl. It's very intense to play it on vinyl. And when I've ordered this Disco Elysium soundtrack, I've also told them to send me Sounds of Summer 2021, Black Screen Records, which is the label company that's releasing, and they are also distributing some of those video game titles, are releasing this free vinyl, and I told them, hey, can you please put it in this package? And of course 6 months later it arrived with this other vinyl, and to be fair, I didn't have a chance to listen to it at all. And I guess that I will have to do that soon. Then I had 3 other records ordered from Black Screen Records, even that actually they were just distributing them, so they weren't releasing them. But hey, 3 more video game records. I have Arnaud Roy, Dungeon of the Endless original soundtrack, which is an absolutely fantastic game, which a really interesting mix up of tower defense and a little bit of roguelite, where you are opening rooms, and whenever you open a room, you have a chance to spawn some enemies which are going to come to kill your crystal, to destroy your crystal. And I was actually thinking I do have a video on that, on Dungeon of the Endless, if you look on my YouTube channel. I'm not sure if the video is good or not, but I was thinking on actually making a designer video about that game and look at the mechanics and the gaming loop and what's great about the game and so on, and not just as review purposes. Hey, this game is nice. But yeah, because I like the game so much, I decided to buy the original soundtrack, and to be fair, I didn't have time to listen to it fully, and this seems to be kind of like a recurring theme this year. I'm sorry, but as I've said, I was stressed and so on. Part of the same order, I believe, was ConcernedApe Stardew Valley 1.4, 1.5 soundtrack. You know, Stardew Valley over the years got multiple patches, and with version 1.4 and 1.5, I believe they also added some. He also added a couple of new songs, and since I'm collecting a lot of Stardew Valley things, I decided to buy it. It has a lot of short songs, and that's usually a problem for me when it comes to video games, because you don't really have time to listen to a song. It just seems to be something that's incomplete. It's just like a bit there or something. But to be fair, I've listened to it a couple of times and it flows really nice. So I'm happy with the purchase. I'm happy. I enjoyed the cover and how it looks a lot. So it was a nice release by Fun Gamer actually. And I actually have a video about the Stardew Valley vinyl records that I have on my channel, separate only for them, because I did one of my most favorite records that I own. It's from 2017. I got the first release of the Stardew Valley soundtrack, and it's absolutely fantastic. And then Fun Gamer released 4 vinyls in that package, which each season, right, spring, summer, and so on. And again, beautiful package. It's one of my most favorites one. And then I don't think it was on the same order. I think I've ordered those two, and Diablo 2 Resurrected original soundtrack was released on vinyl. I was like, I do have to buy it, damn it, shipping and so on. It's not the best release because it's missing like 2 very essential songs, and I'm trying to look real fast on Discogs. It's missing Wild and Town, and those were 2 pivotal songs about the Diablo 2, and it's missing. But oh well, it is what it is, you know, to be fair. But yeah, Diablo 2 had a special impact with me. I still think that I have my first character in Diablo 2 was a sorceress, and I still believe I do have on some DVD or hard drive my first save, that first sorceress, which I remember because I was just playing it solo. I wasn't playing it on ladder and so on. I got one of these really unique armors called Ratter Cage, which required strength 99, and was like, I started to put strength into my sorceress just so I can use that armor. But yeah, Diablo 2, I'm actually waiting for Diablo 4, and I'm cautiously being optimistic about it. Then I got Lalalar B Cinnete Bakar, not sure how to pronounce it. It's a Turkish band which I actually showcased in the video from last year when I got 3 of their 3 singles, which had, you know, 6 songs in total, and I was like, those guys can actually release an album right now only with those 6 songs. But actually it's a double LP, so it's a pretty heavy album, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 songs or 14 songs. I kind of lost count. And it's a fantastic album. It's a fantastic band. I was able to see them live last year in Traian in Timișoara. It was a free concert. They were like in the open market playing there, and I was like, they were really good. So if you have a chance to see Lalalar, go watch them live. If I am to tell you some songs, the first song Ishianlar, it's a good one, and there are other, but again it's hard to pronounce their names of the songs, and I don't know how to pronounce. But actually it's a good candidate for a video, a solo video talking only about this album because it's a fantastic album. Then I got Lazerhawk Visitors, and I'm happy that Electric Dream Records managed to release this one. It was my most favorite Lazerhawk album, together with the first one, but this one was more impactful towards me, and I remember seeing, and I did say this when I got Redline, the first album, that I'm waiting for this guy mostly because of the song So Far Away, which is a fantastic song and I enjoy it a lot. But if I am to mention another song from this album, would be Visitors and Star Hustler. Star Hustler is also a song that I listen to it pretty often. It's in my playlist called Work Music, which has a lot of new retro wave. And Lazerhawk is also one of the first artists that I listen when it comes to new retro wave. It started back in 2015, I believe, that I started to listen to it. So yeah, I'm happy that finally got Visitors in my possession. It had to came from USA, and again we had to pay a little bit of customs, but it is how it is. Then I got Negură Bunget Om. Didn't have time to listen to it. I do know about the album from years ago, and funny note, funny side, I know the brother of the guitarist from Negură Bunget, which is now in Stardew, and we used to go out drinking beer and so on, and that's how I met Attila, which was the bassist from Negură Bunget, from that area, what do you call it? From back in the day, yeah. Attila was a bassist for Negură Bunget from back in the day, and I actually owned the bass that I'm not sure if they recorded this album with that bass, but if that bass, it's still in my old apartment. And I remember that they supposed to release it, I believe, in 2005, but kept getting postponed. They released an EP, and I think the album came out in 2006, finally. And when they released it again on vinyl, I decided to buy it. So yeah, it's kind of like this black metal, Transylvanian black metal, dark ambient. They have like a really interesting vibe. It's not my favorite album from them. That's Krugu Bradley, which I featured last year because that one also got released on vinyl. But yeah. Then I'm happy that I finally got, I wanted to say the last album that I'm missing from Drab, Majesty, but they have a couple of EPs out which I listened and it wasn't enticing enough to pay shipping for them, and I just decided to get this one, Drab Majesty Demonstration. I did got it on some light blue color, and it's looking nice, but this album is fantastic. I do want to put Dot in the Sky. I think that's the most important song on the album. And again, dark wave, post-punk, new wave, they do have a really interesting live persona on the way you play, on the way they play, and I would enjoy seeing them live. And if I am to mention that the first song that I've listened to them was The Foyer from the album Careless, which I bought some years ago, and then I got Modern Mirror, I believe 2 years ago, or in 2019, I forgot, which is again a fantastic album. And now I have all their 3 albums, and again, as I've said, it's one of those bands that I'm happy that I'm constantly exploring music, because you get to find these really interesting bands. Then I got some Primus, Suck on This. It's a repress of their first live album. Again, I decided to buy it for the collection. I bought it from a record store here in Romania, and I told them, can you bring more of those vinyls? And unfortunately they couldn't, but they managed to bring this one. In a way, it's maybe for the best, because since then I got another one. Because if they were to bring all those 3 albums that I'm missing from Primus, it would have been pretty expensive, about 300 euros. You can't really find those anymore that much. No, not this one. Suck on This seems to be still available, but yeah. I don't want to get into the reasons why I like Primus, especially since since I like the instrument bass guitar. Primus is like a funk metal or whatever you call it. It's a weird band and I enjoy a lot. And yeah, this is why I got Primus stuck on this one. And since it's a live album, it sounds different than the recordings. And I do enjoy listening to live records, and I still actually have a lot of MP3s with Primus with a lot of their live concerts, and you can hear different things. Sometimes the bass sounds more heavier and I listen to that more. So yeah, Primus suck on this. Then I got Deathloop, which is the original soundtrack of the game Deathloop, and the package itself looks absolutely fantastic. However, I didn't have time to listen to it, only to side A and a little bit of B, and I believe that there is a little bit of a downside to this, because side A sounds very much the same, because it has menu break the loop, menu protect the loop, and those songs, Invasion started, Invasion updated, Invasion ended. Those are different songs and they sound very much the same with different. And I remember listening to the side A a couple of times. I was like, it's not really that enjoyable. I'm not sure how. So it's one of those things where you don't want to buy the records that have all the songs. You maybe want to buy a selection of the best songs that sound the best as an experience, right? It's the same thing that I've said with the songs that have 1 minute to 1 minute or something. It's not that much the case here, I think, but yeah, I do believe the packaging is looking fantastic, and I did enjoy the game and the vibe that the game had, which is why I got the vinyl itself. And again, it might be a candidate for making a proper video some other time, where we'll have to see how that's going to turn out. Then I got one of my most favorite bands from 1998, 1999 or so, which is Aqua. I remember knowing the logo from my mind, and I did draw it on a wall. My cousin, she had some kind of chalk that was nice. I was like, I'm going to make the Aqua song. It was one, not those small chalks, but it was a big piece of chalk, and I remember drawing the logo. Yeah, it's one of those guilty pleasures for me. I do enjoy to put this album sometimes. Haven't listened to it fully like I did in the past. I do have I think it's a pirate cassette. It's not an original, but I've listened to it a lot on the cassette. And I remember bringing the cassette in the reunion at the end of the 7th grade or 6th grade, and we listened to Aqua. So yeah, the most important song on this album is Barbie Girl. I think that was their breakthrough, but I enjoy mostly Dr. Jones, Lollipop Candyman. That's a high tempo song. And another song that's very sad, it's Turn Back Time. So it's not all happiness and joyfulness. It's also a little bit of sadness. Then I'm not sure how exactly I got to this, how I found out about this. But I saw Primus, the Revenant, Juke, a collection of Fable and Farce. I'm not sure how the hell I said it, but it's a collection of 6-7 inches with Primus singles. It's perfect for me. The whole packaging looks fantastic. It was released by Third Man Records, and it's part of the Vault. Third Man Records, it's Jax White, I believe that's how he's called, from White Stripes. He has a vinyl press and so on. He has a record label, and he has this thing called a Vault, and if you subscribe to it, you get this package. I've subscribed to it just for this one, and overall it was pretty expensive because I had to pay something like £70, and if I'm to look right now on Discogs, you can buy those to $35-40, but they do ship from United States. So if you put in shipping and customs, I still think I got it okay. You also had a couple of other perks if you subscribed to the vault, which I didn't took advantage. All I care was about this package, and it has a lot of the good Primus songs like Too Many Puppies, Jerry Was a Race Skies Driver, My Name is Mud, Mr. Crinkle, Wyona's Big Brown Beaver, which is one of their most unique songs, if I'm to put it. It's also one of those songs that seems the most like a song, if that makes sense. And then Over the Falls and Shakes Hands with Beef from their Brown album was also a nice addition. That's an album that I want and I'm missing. Then I finally got Timpuri Noi with their first release, Timpuri Noi. This was a re-release. It also came with a cassette tape. It was a bit pricey, but it doesn't matter. Timpuri Noi is one of those alternative rock bands from Romania, and they were singing since the communist times, and they had a couple of lyrics which were a little bit against the system, and they had to be very careful on how they were singing it, so the Securitate wouldn't see behind the lyrics and be like, hey, what did they say? They are ironic when they are saying that everything is perfect. And Perfect, it's actually my favorite song, and I do remember when I first found about it. It was a video on TVR, sometimes in late 90s, maybe a little bit of 2000. Sometimes I'm down there. I saw Perfect, and I really enjoy how it sounds. And yeah, now I have it on vinyl, and I'm happy that it finally arrived, and I'm happy that they did the repress, because the album, the first release from '92, was available, and it was sold for 200 euros at some point last year. Right now I see two of them for sale, 160 euros and 175 euros. So yeah, I'm happy that they did the release and you don't have to buy overpriced vinyls from the past. Then I decided to put another order with George from HHV, and I didn't know exactly what to buy, and I was looking on my wishing list, and I saw let's buy Charles Mingus Blues and Roots. It's the first album that introduced me to Charles Mingus, and the song that introduced me was Moaning, and that baritone saxophone that you hear, I was like, oh my god, what's that? And that's actually Pepper Adams, I believe that's how he's called, and I was like intrigued. But this whole album, it's the style according to Discog is post-bop. Not sure what that means, I'm not that good with those many styles and however they are called, but I like to call it kind of like punk jazz. It's very chaotic, the whole album. You need to have some kind of really special mindset to it. It's not really that relaxing, it's very intense, but it's a great album overall. Wednesday Night Prayer Meeting is the first song, which is also enjoyable, and the last song, E flat flat 2 it's also I remember having some really nice bass there. Charles Mingus is actually a double bass player. And the second album that I bought from that order was Death Grips The Money Store. It's a repress. I was hunting for this album from some time, wasn't in stock and so on, and it's hard to talk about Death Grips. It's very, very experimental, very, very hardcore hip hop experimental, and so on. You do need to have a bit of open-minded. How to put it? It's difficult to listen. It's a lot of weird sounds, but when you listen to it and you listen to it and you listen to it, from those weird sounds you find clarity. Maybe it's, I'm not sure how to put it, but again, it's a very good candidate for a particular video, a solo video, and maybe I will be able to go into more details. But yeah, it's a weird album. I'm very happy that it's another band that I've got introduced by Anka. Lalalar was the other one, and then this one was Death Grips also from Anka. Then I'm finally happy that I got my hands on this Windows 96 100 Mornings. It's a vaporwave, chill waves, a little bit of synthwaves album. And the reason why I wanted this album was because of the song Rituals, which is my most played song from 2019. And I remember that in 2020 they had a repress of this album. They had 1000 copies. I wanted to order it, but I believe away in the city drinking or something. I was like, I'm not going to order it now. It won't get sold out. And the second day it was freaking sold out. And it was so annoying because it was sold out, but there were entries of people trying to sell the album on Discogs at $100 prices. And this is one of the annoying things with these vaporwave synthwaves. People just buy it because they pump up the prices. Luckily right now on Discogs there are 4 for sale at the price 44 euros. And I did got the edition from the label itself, 100% Electronica, but I actually found out that they have a special edition with this album from HHV, and I was like, oh, I could have ordered this from HHV. And I'm looking at it, it's 70 euros, that version, and I think that's the order from that's the album from HHV, or I'm not sure. Anyway, maybe not, but yeah, listen to the song Rituals. It's I don't know how to describe it again. It's very moody. It sets myself up into some kind of really weird mood, in the good way when I say weird. Then my last order of the year, it was no doubt Dredging Kingdom, which is the repress from last year. And last year I saw at one point, I have a list of wishlisted records, and whenever I'm going to HHV every couple of days, I look on the list, see what's in stock. And I had no doubt an edition that's sold out. It's not new vinyl, it was sold out from some time, and I was like, holy shit, this one is on stock. I can't really find this album at a decent price. Now you can, but back then you couldn't. And I wanted to buy it. I talked with George, hey, do you want to put an order? Think real fast. Let's do an order so we can split the shipping price. And 3 hours later, the record was sold out. It was only one copy, used copy. I was like, god damn it. And the way I actually bought it, I only bought this one by, no, not by accident, but I actually ordered another one, which was Primus Pork Soda, but let's not go there yet. I saw Primus Pork Soda, I was like, holy shit, Primus is here, and it was an okay-ish price, and I added it to cart, and while I was, the album was in the cart, I saw a suggested, no doubt, Tragic Kingdom, and it wasn't in my favorites because I favorite another version, something like that. Was holy shit, this is also available, and this was after the Christmas party at the song, at my work at the song. It was 5 a.m. in the morning, it was 16 December, so it was my birthday, and I was like, I'm going to treat myself and I'm going to order those two vinyls. No Georgia, no nothing, paid full shipping price, I'm just going to order those two. Went to sleep, wake up, HHV sends me an email. Hey, happy birthday here, 5% discount code. Like, thanks, I've already made my purchase. But anyway, Tragic Kingdom, again, made the discovery about the album itself, not about the song, because you know their most famous song, I believe, ever, it's Don't Speak from this album. That's I know this song from '96 when it came out, but then I discovered this song again fully in 2005, and I remember that I liked the whole album so much. Then at friend's birthday, I burned her 3 CDs, and one of those 3 CDs was no doubt Tragic Kingdom. And the song that I like the most might be different people, maybe not, but I like the bass line on that song. Don't Speak, of course, is very good. Sunday Morning, it's also nice-ish a bit, but I think it's a bit repetitive and I find it annoying. But the last song, Tragic Kingdom, has a very nice ending to the whole album. It really ties it up together. But as I've said, the last album of the year is Primus Pork Soda, and I'm very, very happy that I got it. It's one of their most emblematic albums, maybe. It has their famous song called My Name is Mud, where Les Clyde would play six-string rainbow bass. From this album I also like Mr. Kringle. The Pressman is also nice. Hamburger Train is also nice. DMV and Bob, again, also nice. It's a nice album altogether. So, very happy that I got it. And I believe this is about it. There are more records that I've ordered, but they are going to arrive this year in 2023, and I guess that you will see them in the next year's video. Hopefully you are going to tune out. I do have a vinyl which I think it's a bust. The money is gone. Again, not going to order new retro wave anymore and so on, but it seems legit. Maybe the intention was there, but it was 1987 vinyl. It was a nice violin, and I had money and I was like, I'm going to buy it, and I actually bought it last year, and right now the whole thing was removed from their website. Like, you can't really order it. I tried to raise an issue with Bandcamp, and they came back after like, hey, we are just a market, we are trying to solve things, but we can't really do it. Next time, come to us sooner and take it with with PayPal. You know, like, I ordered this last year ago. I don't think I can take it with PayPal anymore. But anyway, it's a bust. And then I've ordered. Let me see. 4 other vinyls, ignoring the one that I told you it's a bust, and they are actually video games vinyl. So yeah, I guess you will have to tune in to next year to hear what those albums are. So anyway, this was a little bit of a weirder video, if I am to be honest. At the end, I feel that I didn't have like a nice flow. Normally I have a much better flow and I like to go into more details, but because I haven't listened that well, I feel that I can't go that well into details. I don't know. If you are still here watching, thank you very much. Hope you found some really new enjoyable albums to listen, some new enjoyable songs. And again, I do plan to make those videos about albums independently, so tell me if you think that's a good idea and so on. So thank you guys for watching. I guess I mean, I don't guess. I know for sure. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Goodbye.